Welcome to our channel HD Rare Coin 111, your go-to spot for uncovering the incredible world of rare US coins. If you've ever wondered if your old pennies, nickels, or dimes are worth more than face value, you're about to find out. In today's video, we'll be exploring some truly rare coins and their shocking values. And if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. So let's jump in. Top 1. In the rich and fascinating world of coin collecting, certain pieces stand out not just because of their age, but due to their unique historical background and the mysteries they carry within their metallic design. One such coin is the 1943 Jefferson nickel, a seemingly ordinary 5-cent piece that has captured the imagination of collectors and historians alike. Produced during the throes of World War II, this particular year of the Jefferson nickel represents a time when the United States was deeply engaged in wartime efforts, and every aspect of life, including coinage, was affected by the demands of a global conflict. What makes the 1943 nickel so compelling isn't just its date or the profile of Thomas Jefferson that appears on the obverse, but rather what it's made of, how it was made, and the surprising rarity of certain variations that now command incredibly high values on the collector's market. The 1943 Jefferson nickel is part of the famous War Nickels series, minted from 1942 to 1945. During this time, the U.S. Mint made a dramatic change in the composition of the nickel coin. Because nickel metal was urgently needed for the production of military supplies, the government decided to replace the usual nickel-copper alloy with a unique blend of 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese. This change wasn't just a cost-cutting measure, it was an act of national importance. These silver wartime nickels are instantly recognizable to experienced collectors due to the large mint mark placed above Monticello on the reverse, a feature that appears only on these silver composition coins and serves as a clue to their historical and collectible significance. The 1943 Jefferson nickel was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, with a P mint mark, Denver, with a D, and San Francisco, with an S. Each of these mint locations produced millions of coins, but not all of them were created equally. Over time, certain coins have emerged with striking errors or rare die variations that make them extremely desirable. Among these are examples with full steps on Monticello, sharp and complete horizontal lines on the building's depiction, which indicate a strong, precise strike. These full-step varieties are much rarer and command higher premiums. Even more sought after are the error coins, those accidentally struck on the wrong metal planchet, or with double dies, off-center strikes, or misaligned features. These errors were often unnoticed at the time but are now hunted by collectors with great enthusiasm. What adds to the allure of the 1943 Jefferson nickel is its silver content. Unlike the typical nickel-copper version, these war nickels are technically silver coins, making them one of the most accessible silver pieces a collector can own. This silver composition, combined with their wartime backstory, gives them a special place in both historical and numismatic circles. Collectors who appreciate coins with a narrative, who see coins as tiny windows into history, find the 1943 nickel irresistible. Its presence in your hand connects you to a time when America was united in a global struggle, and every small change had a bigger purpose. But beyond the history and metal content, some individual 1943 Jefferson nickels have skyrocketed in value due to their rarity and condition. For instance, coins that were struck exceptionally well and preserved in near-perfect condition have fetched extraordinary prices at auctions. These coins are typically graded by professional services and receive designations like MS-67 or MS-68, indicating their mint state perfection. In addition, certain varieties, such as the 1943/2/8 or rare double die errors, are like gold mines to collectors. These mistakes during production have become the very traits that make them worth a fortune today. Imagine finding a 1943 Jefferson nickel in your collection or among a box of old coins handed down through generations. At first glance, it may look like just another coin from decades ago. But if you know what to look for, sharp details, full steps, mint mark placement, silver sheen, and possible errors, then that small piece of metal could represent a treasure waiting to be recognized. With expert authentication and grading, a single nickel could rise in value beyond what most would expect from a 5-cent coin. One such astonishing example of the 1943 Jefferson nickel, struck with remarkable clarity, containing a unique die error, and preserved in pristine condition, was recently valued by experts at an unbelievable $130,000. Top 2. Among the millions of coins minted by the United States, there are hidden gems that often go unnoticed by the average person. One such coin, humble in appearance yet astonishing in value, is the 1975 Jefferson nickel, an American 5-cent piece that, for many, seems ordinary until you take a closer look. This coin may have passed through countless hands over the decades, used to buy a soda, dropped into a vending machine, or tucked away in a child's piggy bank. But for collectors and numismatists, the 1975 Jefferson nickel represents more than just spare change. It's a remarkable artifact, a reflection of the era in which it was minted, and in rare cases, a treasure worth thousands. The Jefferson nickel series began in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel, and has since become a staple of American coinage. Designed by artist Felix Schlag, the obverse of the coin features a dignified profile of President Thomas Jefferson, while the reverse shows his famous Virginia estate, Monticello. While the design remained mostly unchanged for decades, certain years and mints have produced nickels with distinctive qualities, and 1975 is one of those years that has sparked interest among collectors, especially when certain unique variations come into play. Now, what makes a coin from 1975 so special? It's not just the year or the number of coins produced. After all, hundreds of millions of Jefferson nickels were struck that year. It's the specific conditions of mintage, the unexpected errors, and the preservation of certain examples that elevate the value of these coins to incredible levels. The U.S. Mint in 1975 was focused on mass production, meeting the demands of a bustling economy, but amidst this flood of production, a few extraordinary coins were minted with features that defied the norm. These include double die strikes, off-center impressions, and most notably, full-step varieties. A full-step Jefferson nickel refers to coins where the steps of Monticello are fully and sharply struck, an indicator of precision and rarity. Only a handful of nickels from 1975 have been found with this feature in pristine condition, and they are highly coveted by collectors. Another fascinating aspect is the condition of the coin. Most coins in circulation bear the scars of time, scratches, worn edges, and fading details. But a coin that has remained untouched, perhaps stored in a collection or discovered in a forgotten roll, can possess what collectors refer to as mint state. These coins are graded on a scale, with MS 65 or higher being extremely rare and valuable. A 1975 nickel with no wear, flawless strike, and sharp features could be worth far more than anyone would expect. Combine this condition with a known mint error, like a misaligned die, a clipped planchet, or an overstruck design, and you suddenly have a coin that becomes the star of any collection. Furthermore, some 1975 Jefferson nickels are known for planchet anomalies, where the coin was struck on the wrong metal or where a foreign object interfered with the striking process. These kinds of errors were not intentional, but they are precisely what excite collectors who are always searching for the unusual, the unique, and the historically significant. It's like owning a rare misprint in a classic book, something that tells a story beyond its initial purpose. The journey of the 1975 Jefferson nickel, from being one of millions to becoming a rare and sought-after item, shows us that value is often hidden in plain sight. And while most of these coins are still worth only 5 cents, there are those extraordinary few that can be worth a fortune due to rarity, condition, and collector demand. So, if you come across a 1975 nickel, don't dismiss it too quickly. Check its features, examine its details, and consider having it appraised by a professional. Because you just might be holding a piece of history, a coin that collectors dream of finding. And yes, there's one such extraordinary example of the 1975 Jefferson nickel, an exceptional specimen featuring full steps, remarkable clarity, and a rare minting error that has been valued at an astounding $95,000. Top 3. When we think of small change, most of us overlook the true potential hiding in our pockets, coin jars, or tucked away in old drawers. But what if I told you that a simple 5-cent coin could be worth a fortune? That's right. Today, we're going to talk about one of the most intriguing and potentially valuable coins ever minted in the United States, the 1964 Jefferson nickel. At first glance, it might appear to be just another ordinary coin, one of millions struck by the U.S. Mint. But behind its simple design lies a world of numismatic mystery, history, and surprising value. The Jefferson nickel was introduced in 1938 as a replacement for the beloved Buffalo nickel. Designed by sculptor Felix Schlag, the coin features the profile of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his home, Monticello, on the reverse. For decades, it remained one of the most stable and recognizable designs in American coinage. But the year 1964 stands out for many reasons, especially to collectors and historians alike. In that year alone, over 1.7 billion nickels were minted, primarily due to a nationwide coin shortage. This mass production was part of an effort by the U.S. Treasury to meet increasing demand and prevent coin hoarding, a practice that had started to rise as the country grappled with rising metal prices and changing minting policies. So, with over 1 billion coins produced, what could make a single 1964 Jefferson nickel so special? The answer lies in the small number of coins that emerged from that tidal wave of production with unique characteristics, mint errors, rare variations, and high-grade conditions that set them apart from the rest. Unlike later years, 1964 marked the last time nickels were struck with the mint mark placed on the reverse. After that, the U.S. Mint began placing mint marks on the obverse of nickels starting in 1968. But that's just the beginning of the story. One of the key factors that can make a 1964 nickel valuable is the presence of what's known as full steps on Monticello. This means that the steps leading up to Jefferson's estate are fully struck with clean, uninterrupted lines. Due to die wear and overuse, it was very rare to get a coin with such precision, and finding a 1964 nickel with full steps is like discovering buried treasure. These coins, when graded in mint state condition and verified by a reputable grading service, can fetch thousands of dollars depending on quality and strike sharpness. Now let's add another layer of rarity: minting errors. During the rush to produce coins in 1964, the U.S. Mint occasionally made mistakes that went unnoticed until years later. These include double die obverse or reverses, off-center strikes, coins struck on the wrong planchets, or die cracks that create unusual patterns across the coin. Collectors crave these errors because they offer a glimpse into the minting process and make each error coin essentially one of a kind. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that was never supposed to exist in that form. It's a thrill that only coin collectors understand. The story becomes even more fascinating when you consider the role of preservation. Most nickels from 1964 have long since worn down from decades of circulation. But some have survived in pristine condition, never used, never touched, carefully stored by someone who may have seen their potential. These are the coins that can command the highest prices at auction, especially when paired with rare strike characteristics or verified minting errors. It's no exaggeration to say that a single coin, preserved for decades, could completely change someone's life. So the next time you're sorting through your change or exploring an old coin collection, pay close attention to those nickels from 1964. Flip them over and check the steps of Monticello. Look for signs of errors, doubling, or off-center strikes. If the coin still has its original luster and crisp details, you might be holding something truly remarkable. It's a small piece of history, a product of an era when American coinage was going through significant transformation, and in some cases, a key to unexpected wealth. Among all the nickels from that year, there is one standout example that sent shockwaves through the collector world. It was a 1964 Jefferson nickel, featuring full steps, an ultra-sharp strike, and an extremely rare die error that had gone unnoticed for years. Its condition was nearly flawless, preserved through time and almost mint-state perfection. When it finally appeared at a high-end auction, collectors didn't hesitate to compete for the chance to own such a historic piece. And the final price this little 5-cent coin achieved? It was a jaw-dropping $145,000. Top 4. Have you ever held a coin in your hand and wondered if it might be worth more than just its face value? Many people pass by loose change every day without realizing the hidden treasures they might be overlooking. But what if I told you that a simple 5-cent coin, minted in 1985, could be hiding an incredible secret, one that collectors around the world are willing to pay tens of thousands of dollars to uncover? Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1985 Jefferson nickel, a coin that may look ordinary at first glance but could be worth a staggering amount of money under the right conditions. The Jefferson nickel, a staple of American pocket change since 1938, was designed to honor one of the nation's founding fathers, Thomas Jefferson. The obverse of the coin features a left-facing portrait of Jefferson, while the reverse shows Monticello, his iconic home. Over the decades, billions of these coins have been struck by the U.S. Mint, making them one of the most common and recognizable coins in American history. But as any experienced coin collector will tell you, not all nickels are created equal. While most Jefferson nickels are only worth their face value, a rare few, due to exceptional minting errors, unique variations, or outstanding condition, are prized collector's items. The year 1985 was not known for any major design overhauls or minting milestones, which makes the valuable finds from this year even more surprising. Most people wouldn't expect a coin from this relatively modern era to be of significant worth. But that's exactly what makes the rare 1985 Jefferson nickel so fascinating. Hidden among the countless nickels produced in that year are a small number of coins that possess rare traits collectors obsess over. These include striking errors, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or coins accidentally minted on the wrong planchet. Some of these mistakes are so subtle that it takes a trained eye and magnification to spot them, but once identified, their value skyrockets. One of the key features that dramatically increases the value of any Jefferson nickel is what collectors refer to as full steps on the reverse of the coin. These are the steps leading up to Monticello, and when all 5 or 6 steps are sharply defined with no wear or striking distortion, it indicates an exceptionally well-struck coin. Achieving full steps, especially during high-volume minting years like 1985, was extremely rare due to worn-out dies and rushed production. Finding a 1985 nickel with full steps is like finding a needle in a haystack, and if that coin also happens to be in pristine, uncirculated condition, it becomes an extremely desirable collector's item. Now add in another factor: high-grade certification. Coins graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC can fetch significantly higher prices if they fall into the MS66 or MS67 categories, or, in truly exceptional cases, MS68 and above. A 1985 Jefferson nickel graded MS68 with full steps and no post-mint damage is not just rare, it's nearly impossible to find. That's what makes stories of valuable finds so captivating. Imagine discovering a nickel that's been sitting in a coin jar or passed down through your family, and learning it holds a level of rarity that could rival a luxury car in value. Collectors are drawn to coins like this not just for their monetary worth, but also for the history and mystery they represent. Each coin carries a story: how it was minted, how it was preserved, and how it managed to survive in near-perfect condition for decades. The thrill of the hunt is what drives the passion of numismatics. And it's a passion that often leads to incredible surprises. In fact, one rare 1985 Jefferson nickel with full steps, an ultra-sharp strike, and a verified mint error recently made headlines when it appeared in a private auction. As bidding heated up among collectors who recognized the coin's rarity, the final hammer price left everyone in awe. What was once a simple 5-cent piece transformed into a remarkable numismatic gem. And the price it reached? An astounding $75,000. Yes, you heard that right. $75,000 for a single Jefferson nickel from 1985. So the next time you're going through your spare change or examining an old coin collection, pay close attention. That ordinary-looking nickel might just be your hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. Top 5. Have you ever stopped to think about the coins jingling in your pocket or collecting dust in an old jar on your shelf? What if I told you that one of those tiny pieces of metal, one that most people overlook every single day, could be worth tens of thousands of dollars? Today, we're going to talk about a coin that may seem common at first glance, but under the right conditions, can be a true hidden treasure, the 1990 Jefferson nickel from the United States of America. This 5-cent coin, a part of everyday life for decades, might just be your ticket to an unexpected fortune. So don't go anywhere, because this isn't just about coin collecting, it's about unlocking the secret history and incredible value of one of America's most unassuming coins. The Jefferson nickel series began in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel with a new design featuring Thomas Jefferson, one of America's most revered founding fathers. His profile appears proudly on the obverse, while his beautiful home, Monticello, is displayed on the reverse. For decades, the Jefferson nickel has remained relatively unchanged in design, quietly flowing through the hands of millions of Americans. But within that vast sea of nickels, there are rare finds, coins struck with precision, preserved in flawless condition, or possessing unintentional mint errors that transform them into valuable collectibles. And the 1990 Jefferson nickel is one of those coins that, in rare circumstances, has taken the numismatic world by storm. Most people would look at a 1990 nickel and assume it's just another coin, certainly not worth more than its face value. But that's the beauty of coin collecting. It's not just about what's obvious, it's about the details, the history, and the hidden traits that most eyes miss. In 1990, the U.S. Mint produced hundreds of millions of Jefferson nickels, but among them are a select few that stand out for reasons you wouldn't expect. These include extremely high-grade coins with exceptional sharpness, nickels struck with full steps on Monticello, and most exciting of all, coins with rare mint errors that make them incredibly desirable to collectors around the world. What makes a 1990 Jefferson nickel valuable often comes down to its condition and strike quality. Coins that have never been circulated, especially those graded MS-66 or higher by certified grading companies, are already quite scarce. But what makes some of them truly exceptional are the full steps visible on Monticello's staircase on the reverse. These lines need to be sharp, uninterrupted, and perfectly defined. Achieving full steps is difficult because of worn-out dies or poor striking pressure at the mint. So when a 1990 nickel shows crisp, complete steps along with a flawless surface, its value skyrockets. Combine that with mint errors, like double dies, off-center strikes, or planchet mistakes, and you're holding a piece of history that collectors will compete for. One famous type of error to look for is the double die obverse, where Jefferson's profile or the wording appears to be doubled. Another is a misaligned or off-center strike, where the design elements are not where they should be. These minting mistakes are not only rare but can increase the value of a coin dramatically. What makes them even more fascinating is that they are often discovered by everyday people, someone sorting through change, a curious collector examining old coins, or a family member going through an inherited jar of nickels. It's a thrilling moment when someone realizes they've found something extraordinary among the ordinary. Collectors and experts in the numismatic community spend years searching for that one coin that stands out from the rest. And sometimes, one of those coins surfaces and captures attention across the country. That's exactly what happened with a pristine 1990 Jefferson nickel, a coin that had all the right elements, immaculate condition, full steps, and an extremely rare mint error that set it apart. It was submitted for grading, authenticated, and placed into a high-profile auction where it generated buzz from collectors and investors alike. The final price it reached left jaws dropping and cemented its place in the record books. So, what was the final price paid for this seemingly simple 5-cent coin? Believe it or not, that 1990 Jefferson nickel sold for an incredible $60,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $60,000 US for a 5-cent coin. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes, the most unexpected things in life hold the greatest value. So the next time you're handed change at the store or sorting through a drawer of old coins, take a closer look. Because within that handful of nickels, there might just be a rare treasure waiting to be discovered.